Ascension in Morningside Heights, they're serving up more than just bread and wine. They're striking up soulful sounds and shaking up something to wet your whistle at their jazz mass and martini nights.
Here I am just making martinis.
The pairing of martinis with jazz came about as a celebration for young and new parishioners to bring about a sense of community. John Gustaska can't forget a spirited young woman who spurred the idea of martinis after jazz mass.
I feel as though I should have a martini in my hand. And Father feels that that's a great idea, and he calls it a martini night. His idea of labeling it a martini night is really, in other words, it's a different name for the church social. And earlier in the day, like Father Dufell said, it's too late in the day to have coffee hour, at which they'll say after the 8:15 or after the 11 o'clock mass. So why not serve, drinks? And he thought it would be fun to actually serve a martini.
With the exception of major holidays like Christmas, Easter, and the Super Bowl, Martini Mass is celebrated every first Sunday of the month in the social hall. While waiting in line to this often packed event, volunteers offer cups of martinis, white wine, and red wine.
What can I get for you? A martini. Beautiful, they're right there.
You won't find a minibar in the bowels of this church, but they do serve up soda and homemade potluck dinners too, all provided by the volunteers.
And after a long pause, the door opened.
Father Dufell, a Bronx native and the pastor at Ascension for the past 15 years, says that this particular service has a beat of its own.
It's a very mellow mass, and it's been going on now for, I guess, 10 years. I think it's 10 years. I can't remember exactly when.
And it's bass player and singer Peter Hartman who belts out these tunes. With a musical background in church folk groups and studies from the Hart School of Music, he offers the congregation something that's one of a kind.
People seem to like it, and they really think it's unique. And why not? I don't see any reason why there shouldn't be a jazz mass,
But Peter Hartman is the reason, because he drummed up the idea of having jazz music at Ascension when the young people of the parish cried out for an evening mass on Sundays. And the change of musical pace struck up a new note for churchgoers. Parishioner Casey McDermott says this new type of mass gives her a new way to connect to the church.
Typical Catholic mass, you feel almost disconnected from the music, just because you know the words and everything, but you don't feel like the beat is moving you to really, listen to the words and to feel them. And that's something that the jazz music really does for this mass.
A number of these beats and verses are penned by Hartman himself. He draws from a wide variety of music ranging from early Jackson 5 to Radiohead to transform traditional church songs. The career of jazz mass wasn't an immediate hit, but once parishioners got used to the idea, they were hooked.
It took people a few times of hearing all the songs to learn them. So I think that was another part that made it hard for me, because I felt like I was all by myself singing, because I was. Nobody else was singing. So now everyone sings, and it's really great that we're all, we get to celebrate together.
And there are a lot of Fordham students who are a part of this celebration. After graduation, McDermott and her roommates stayed close to the Bronx campus by moving into the Belmont area. Fordham's University Church no longer sang to them.
A lot of times the sermons were kind of based around college life and papers and finals and things like that, which we couldn't relate to so much anymore. So we started to look for a different kind of church.
There's a wide variety of people bound together in this place of worship. Father Dufell tries to appeal to his mixed band of parishioners with an open mind and open arms.
People are different in all sorts of ways, color, hearing, color, language, gender, sexual orientation, but everybody's welcome and everybody's encouraged to be who they are.
This unabashed approach to embracing all people, despite their background, is what keeps parishioners such as Gustaska coming back.
The first time that I sat in church, he talked about inclusivity, Christ's love, not discriminating, male, female, black, white, gay, straight. And when he said gay, straight, I got very, very uncomfortable. I could not, because I had never really heard a priest use sexual orientation or gay, straight before.
People different in so many ways, different in color, different in language, different in gender, different in sexual orientation.
And I literally looked to my right and to my left to see if the reaction of the other parishioners, because I was a gay Catholic and felt uncomfortable. I thought, oh, are people going to leave? Nobody did anything. They listened.
Father DeFell explains that his message is inherent to the faith he preaches.
Well, you can't be Catholic if you're very firm in that sense. Because Catholic means universal, everyone. And everyone's invited to come and be part, to struggle as best they can to hear and heed the Lord's command, which is to love one another. Nobody does it perfectly, Unfortunately, people, Jesus never says in his commandment, condemn one another or judge one another. But a lot of people do it in his name, unfortunately. He simply says the way in which you'll affect change is to love one another.
Gustaska says Father DeFell's words are made flesh for him through the Martini nights. For him, it's about getting to know your fellow New Yorkers and churchgoers.
Really meeting the people in the pews, because as Catholics, the only time that we really make contact with each other is during the Peace Be With You, and some people don't even want to do that. It's okay. It's community. We're a community of believers, and that's very, very, very special and very unique, because there are a lot of people. There are 8.6 million people, and most of the people, they don't experience that on a weekly basis. That sense of community.
And it's a community that keeps multiplying like the loaves and fishes. Martini nights grew from 20 to 200 parishioners. Father DeFell is there to receive them all, no matter what color, shape, or size.
I just kind of accept everybody as just Ascension people.
You can see what this church is preaching about on Sundays at 6 p.m. at 107th in Amsterdam. Parishioners say Jazz Mass and Martini nights at Church of the Ascension is like singing to the soul.